It started like any other morning, quiet, routine, but with an undercurrent I could feel in the pit of my stomach. My wife had been distant for weeks, small excuses piling up. Late nights at work, meetings that never seemed to end, texts she left open too long, laughter that didn't involve me. I didn't want to jump to conclusions, but a part of me knew the truth before I even had the proof. I asked her once, gently at first, about the time she spent with her old friend. I didn't accuse. I just asked, seeking clarity, wanting honesty. The response I got wasn't what I expected. Instead of reassurance, I felt a wall rising between us. She dismissed my questions, made jokes to deflect, and the unease in my chest deepened. I pressed a little harder, carefully, trying to understand. And then the accusation started. "You're emotionally abusive," she said, her voice sharp and unwavering. My heart sank. I never raised my voice, never threatened, never did anything to make her feel unsafe. All I had done was question why she was spending so much time with someone from her past. Her words hit harder than I imagined. They were a wedge, a weapon I hadn't seen coming. A few days later, I received a notice, a restraining order. My own wife, my partner of years, had legally barred me from contacting her. The paper was cold, impersonal, and final. My first reaction was disbelief. My second reaction was anger, not the explosive kind, but the simmering, quiet type that makes you rethink everything. I didn't fight it, not because I was guilty, but because I realized the fight was pointless. Her mind was made up. And so I retreated, silently, meticulously, from the parts of my life that had been intertwined with hers. I closed our shared accounts, canceled the business loan I had been financing, and methodically untangled myself from the life we had built together. It wasn't revenge, it was survival. I had to protect myself from being dragged into a war I didn't start. Then the call came. Her lawyer, or rather, the lawyer from her lover's law firm. My stomach twisted. That was the moment I realized just how deep the betrayal went. It wasn't just a fling. It was calculated. The fact that she had involved someone connected to the man she was seeing. It was both infuriating and surreal. I could hear the veneer politeness in the lawyer's voice, the practiced professionalism that thinly veiled contempt. They called to discuss the restraining order, to outline the limits, to cement control in ways that felt almost theatrical in their cruelty. As I listened, I thought of every late night she had claimed to be working, every text she brushed off, every excuse that had seemed trivial at the time. The weight of betrayal pressed down like a physical force. I realized then that I had loved someone I didn't really know anymore. Or perhaps, someone I had never truly known. Yet, amid the chaos, I found a strange clarity. The anger and hurt burned, yes, but they also sharpened my vision. I was no longer bound by illusions of fairness or loyalty that only existed on one side. I had lost a wife, yes, but I hadn't lost myself. I had the power to rebuild, to reclaim the life she tried to manipulate, to untangle myself from control she thought she had. Weeks passed. The silence was heavy but healing. I stopped checking the news of her social media, stopped wondering what she was doing, who she was with. Each day, I felt a little lighter, a little freer. Her lies, her games, her betrayal, they no longer had dominion over my thoughts. I had taken control in the only way left to me, by walking away, by cutting the ties that gave her power, and by refusing to be a pawn in her story. I learned that emotional abuse can be subtle, insidious, and weaponized in ways you don't anticipate. I learned that people we love are capable of betrayal beyond imagination. But most importantly, I learned that our response defines us far more than our actions ever could. I didn't fight her. I didn't plead. I didn't lash out. I simply removed myself from the battlefield entirely, and in doing so, I preserved my dignity, my sanity, and my future. There were nights I cried, moments of doubt that made me question if I had done enough. But when I looked in the mirror, I saw someone unbroken, someone capable of resilience. I had loved, I had been betrayed, and I had survived, not because I was stronger than the pain, but because I chose to be smarter than the manipulation. In the end, the restraining order was a sentence she thought would cage me, silence me, and bend me to her narrative. But it became my liberation. It forced me to see the truth of who she was, who I was, and what kind of life I truly deserved. I realized that betrayal can be the cruelest teacher, but also the most honest one. I lost a partner, yes. But I gained clarity, freedom, and a lesson in self-respect that no restraining order could ever take away. And somewhere in the quiet aftermath, I finally felt the strange, empowering relief of knowing I had walked away, not defeated but awake.